Are you scared?
Shitless. Scared shitless.
The final moments of a dying man. His last wish for his story to be told.
What is it, do you think, that is making you most scared?
The unknown.
Yeah.
Meeting up with my loved ones.
Yeah.
Leaving Kath behind on her own. But I know it's right because then they can all start rebuilding their lives.
I'm scared of being on my own, but I'm also relieved that Nigel's pain will be over. But I miss all the dreams and things that we had that we were going to do together. Everything we do today is the last time we do that.
I'd rather see my loved ones before the funeral, before they can see me at the funeral. And I can't see them, and for that I am grateful, especially considering how sick I am with the cancer I've got.
I've got to see literally the last breath he took and him laying there after, and as much as it's heartbreaking, it's also comforting that I've got that.
This was not the ending Kath imagined when she first met Nigel in a Pilbara pub.
My first impressions, he was larger than life and he loved people, loved socialising. I think he moved in to live with me about 3 months after we started to get to know each other, and yeah, we were planning a life together.
But life had other plans.
He rang me one day, he said he couldn't park the truck, so he was going to go to the hospital and see if they could work out if he'd pulled a muscle in his neck. By the time he left the hospital that afternoon, they were pretty much 90% sure that he had cancer.
Nigel had aggressive skin cancer riddled throughout his body.
He gave me an out. He said, "You didn't sign up for this." He said, "You don't have to go through this journey." And I said, "You don't know me very well if you don't think I'm going to stand beside you." September of 2023, we'd got all the infections, all the kidney problems under control, and we went back to see our oncologist, but he thought Nigel only had about 3 months left to live.
Voluntary Assisted Dying, or VAD, is legal in all states and territories except the NT. So after going through an extensive screening process, Nigel was accepted. This was also when the couple met Jules.
It was actually easy once we met Jules because he was just so empathetic and just melted in with our family. So it was actually an easy journey to take with him.
How does it feel to watch someone in their last moments? I actually felt guilty. I felt guilty taking that photograph. I just wanted to put my camera away and just kind of stop right there. But I remember asking them, "Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure you want me to do this? We want you to do it. We want you here." And it's really important that Nigel tells this story, and I'm 100% behind him.
Jules Kingma has travelled the globe, camera in hand, capturing and sharing stories.
What draws me to people is I'm a very curious person about people and habits.
It was this curiosity which led him to his latest project.
I was listening to Andrew Denton's podcast, Better Off Dead, and I'm thinking, I really want to do something meaningful.
Jules reached out to Go Gentle, an organisation that supports and empowers those who've chosen voluntary assisted dying.
To my surprise, I was inundated with people saying, "I want to tell my story." I was amazed at people's candour. I was amazed at people's bravery and their courage to let a stranger into their house, like with a camera, someone they've never met. Sue was my first person to call, and I'll never forget. I said, "Hey Sue, I believe that you are happy for me to come and photograph you. You know, when's a good time that I could come?" And she said, "Well, you better come tomorrow because I'm going to die on Monday."
Over the next 2.5 years, Jules was able to capture more people like Sue who wanted to go out on their terms.
I loved Simon. He was a tough bugger. Even in his worst times and in his worst hours, he was still hilarious. Mel Langton, she was sort of like that pragmatist. It wasn't the VAD that Mel couldn't come to terms with, it was saying goodbye to her children, you know, her young kids.
All of these powerful images and stories form part of Jules's finished work, The Power of Choice.
It's been terrifying because I feel such a sense of responsibility to so many people.
Tonight is the launch, where Jules and Kath reunite for the first time since Nigel's death.
I'm so glad you're here.
Me too. I'm so glad you're here. My view on death, it's taught me that it can be a beautiful, soft, easy ending.
Those images mean the world to me. His story and his legacy will live on forever in those images. Our love story gets told forever in those images. If our story reaches and helps one person, then it's all worth it.
Oof. God, what a gift that Jules has given those people.
Well, it's great to see the people dying with dignity.
Totally.
It's a beautiful thing.
So brave as well to be willing to be vulnerable in that kind of final stage of life, to have it captured. It's amazing.
But also, I think important, like we don't talk about death. Like this is not a culture that does it.
Yeah.
And like, this sort of thing, I was going to say forces us. Actually, it facilitates it. A conversation we probably otherwise couldn't have. Like we need the assistance.
Absolutely.
There's some way to do
like
it.
in that package, you start to feel more thoughts about death and emotions than you probably do.
Totally. And it's in thinking about that stuff and even just looking at those images, actually, that life gets its meaning.
Yeah.
But if you try to divorce the two, I don't know, you're missing a major part of it.
I watched my mother pass about 18 months ago, and it was surrounded by her loved ones and her children, grandchildren. She was 83 and she died with dignity. And yeah, it's still just beautiful moments to be with your loved ones when they get to that point.
Well, there's a comfort there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.